Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Heat Press for Profit live podcast, where we will be streaming live to you every Friday throughout 2023. And I'm excited to kick this off. So I have Jenna Sackett with me today. I'm Josh Ellsworth, and we are so excited to welcome you in. If you're watching live, you may be watching on Facebook, YouTube, or LinkedIn. Or if you're listening to the recording afterwards, you can still give us feedback. We have our Facebook group over at Heat Press for Profit. So it's literally the name of this broadcast, where you can join that community, log in, and have conversations about the show. Now, if you happen to be watching the stream live, you can chat into us, and that makes our show a little bit more interactive for you. So we're excited to be on with you today. Jenna, how's 2023 so far for you?
It's been great. Honestly, just gearing up for all that's coming this month with all the trade shows and stuff. And I'm just excited to get back out there at trade shows and see everybody and, hang out with all of our industry friends and see our customers. So really exciting stuff coming up. So I'm ready for it. How about you?
Yeah, very excited for trade shows, putting the final touches on a couple presentations and the plan for one of our biggest shows, which is Impressions Long Beach. That's happening here in just a couple weeks at the end of January. And so I'm talking to a bunch of people, and I know there's a ton of folks traveling out to that, looking to get back to shows, see the latest technology out there, and really grow their business. You have a couple classes out there in Long Beach, at least, right?
Yeah, I have actually just like one seminar for impressions. And that's all about just like print trends and apparel that can help you grow your following. So no matter like what social media platform you're trying to engage with your customers through, just tips and tricks on different print techniques that can help you, grow engagement there. So I'm really excited for that one. It's a unique take on some questions that we get on social media and just keeping up to date and staying relevant with what is still trending out there as far as print finishes go. So it should be a good one. And then, of course, Pro Day that's happening the day before Impressions. Super excited for that.
Yeah, and I love this new thing that we have going called Heat Press Pro Day. For those of you that haven't heard of it, it's a more or less a traveling workshop that we give. Our first one was in Fort Worth towards the end of last year. We had a great turnout, a great feedback, so we decided to continue that and worked with the folks at Impressions to actually get it on as part of their education the day before the show opens. And so I think there's already like 68 people, 70 people signed up for Pro Day out there at Impressions Long Beach, which is a 3-hour workshop that's followed by a happy hour for everybody who joins, where we'll get the print hands-on. So Jenna, I know you're joining. I'm presenting at that. And then we also have our other educators. Dave Connor is going to present, and Jennifer Johnson.
Yeah, it's definitely a really good lineup as far as presentations go. A lot of great information. I'm just like kind of thrilled at the excitement we're getting from people coming out a day early before the show just to come and see what's new, and then get to network afterwards as well. That's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, it's good, because then it's just not talking at you all who are
Yeah.
watching us as apparel decorators. It's having a conversation, and that's what we're trying to do more of as we move through 2023, is have these conversations. That's why we're doing Pro Day, followed by more of a networking happy hour to really get to learn about your business. And that's also why we've decided to launch this new type of content every Friday throughout 2023, is just to be more active and engaged in conversation. So while Jenna and I are kicking this off on future lives, what you'll see every Friday, make sure you bookmark your calendar at 12 p.m. Eastern time. We will be bringing in apparel decorators just like you, or folks that understand the industry, that can offer tips, tricks, advice, practical examples, and experience to really help you achieve your business goals. And so we have a huge focus here on helping you become capable and confident apparel decorators that are in control of your own business goals in 2023. So if you're watching, we want this to be a conversation. How about shouting out who you are, where you're watching from? And if you want to, I'd love to hear about some of your business's goals, maybe a top goal or a top 2 goals for your business as you move into this new exciting calendar year 2023, where hopefully you'll be breaking sales records or maybe just starting your business. So chat in those goals, because that is our topic today. It is 2023 apparel decorator goals. And I know, Jenna, you and I spend a ton of time, as well as our whole team that's behind the scenes helping to answer comments here, connected and having these conversations with apparel decorators. So what are you expecting to hear as some of the top goals that people will have as we head into this new year for their business?
Based off of some of the conversations I was having specifically at the end of 2022 at Printing United in Las Vegas, people were really asking a lot about becoming more efficient. How can they streamline their business more? What equipment can they invest in that will help them? What tips do we have that can help them, have that efficiency so that they can focus on other aspects of their business? So I just see that continuing in conversation as I'm chatting with some of our ambassadors or other industry partners that we have. That's just been a really big topic. I think people are just trying to like revisit, where their business lies and have a little bit more structure, because when people grow fast, which we see a lot of our customers doing, they get a little anxious and wonder, okay, if I'm really going to take this to the next level, be able to grow even more, I need to become more efficient. So that's been a big one.
Yeah, and Charity would agree with you right on spot. Is Charity's watching from Oregon. Thank you for joining us over on Facebook. Her top goal for her business is to be more efficient. Really, for a reason, which I love the second part of this answer. Not only we got the goal, but we got more of the why, which Charity is looking to translate into customer value of being more efficient, with the goal of hitting faster turnaround times for her customer, all without compromising quality. So thank you for chiming in there, Charity, and watching from Oregon with your goal. And when we think about efficiency, I love the idea of we're connecting efficiency, not with just keeping up and hopefully working less late hours if we're running side hustle businesses, or paying less overtime if you're employing folks, but really translating that into turnaround time. Have you seen, and feel free to ask me questions back and forth, I don't want you to feel like I'm just grilling you with questions. Have you seen like a different expectation from businesses that are buying from our customers, whether that's consumers or small businesses or religious organizations or schools or whatever, to desire to get their products quicker from the time they submit their order? What's your read on that?
It's definitely specific to the business type. And so I actually work pretty closely with a friend here in Austin, Texas, that has a coffee roastery, and they sell direct to consumer. And so there's more of there's more of a demand for the coffee, whereas they do sell merchandise as well with just their roastery brand. And they're a little bit more giving on that because what they mainly care about is like that one product, right? So, but I will say because they roll out their merchandise as a limited edition, it does create more demand. So they're super excited for it, but they're willing to wait for it. So that's one example. Another example, which is on the completely different opposite end, is people that are doing more of print on demand. And those types of customers that they're trying to deal with is that Amazon Prime shopper, right? They want that 2-day turn. They expect that product in hand within a couple of days, and they don't want to wait 5 to 7 business days. So it's relative, definitely depends on your demographic, the audience that you're targeting. But I would say more so than not, people want the product they're coming to you for in a lot faster than those 5 to 7 business days that has been previously known for.
Yeah, and we were just chatting that I've gotten to some heated debates about kind of the triangle of price, quality, and speed, right?
Mhm.
And speed really ties in to the efficiency. And what we heard from the comment there was her business is really to increase on the speed, become more efficient without compromising the quality. And so I think, from my perspective, if you're delivering on the fastest turnaround time and you're providing the best or great quality, it really allows you to drive up price. And
Mhm.
so if you're delivering on those two things, you don't need to be the lowest price in the market, because odds are you're investing some of your money into being the fastest or investing into a different quality of goods to be the highest quality end product. And so I love that we've identified that as a goal, to become more efficient, to not lose the quality. And I would just make an encouragement to also look at your pricing, which ties into a goal we hear from Patty. Patty, thanks for always joining us, sharing, and watching. And Patty, one of her goals is to increase pricing and really to continue to track pricing and profit. And then there's some specific goals on new equipment investments and mastering that. And I love this, sharing what she makes on social media. And that's a really big part of what we're trying to encourage here, is getting apparel decorators sharing with other apparel decorators to grow the community. So increase pricing. Let's dive a little bit deeper there, with the goal of probably increasing profitability. That's definitely a big category for goals.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, some businesses kind of try to avoid increasing prices because they don't know how to approach it, right? And we give a lot of tips and tricks on, good, better, best marketing strategy and what your prices should really be. But I just feel like you have to spend money to make money. You want to be able to provide those price conscious customers with what they're looking for in their price range. But I think that you can't be afraid to show them new product, whether that be a different style of t-shirt, or maybe instead of a flat print, maybe you're offering them something a little bit more dimensional, but definitely something that kind of gives them a reason to want to pay a little more, but also come back as well.
Yeah, and I think tracking it is key, right? In order to understand the relationship between profit and price, you have to understand cost, right? Or there's no way you're going to get to it in true cost. So I feel confident just knowing Patty and some of the comments she makes. She has done that and will continue to
Mhm.
do that. But I think that's great advice for startup apparel decorators, as we share. And we've had some comments about people wanting to start their business perhaps this year, is starting it by measuring things right away, because just starting it and not having an understanding of your cost and how your labor factors into your cost, paying yourself, and also understanding how your space or your marketing expense or your sales expense plays into the cost, is going to leave you tracking one number. And I find most decorators track this number: what's their bank account at today, and what's their bank account at tomorrow. And that's
Mhm.
really the ultimate gauge of success, is that we're increasing that number. But to really take control and increase that number in a scalable way, we have to get to it at the order level, at the customer level, at the product level. So try to take those deep dives. If one of your goals, like Patty's, is to raise your prices to increase your profit, presumably, you really have to understand your numbers from day one and understand the levers that are going to allow you to do that without losing customers. And
I would say too, a lot of it is like an intimidation factor, right?
yeah,
Not, and that kind of boils down to just knowing the value of your brand and the product that you offer, and standing confident behind that. But I think that that intimidation also is fueled by some of the customers that do give them price pressure, where they just want to wheel and deal and get the best price from you because you're a small business owner or whatever it may be, and they feel like they can do that with you.
yeah, and I believe price pressure is an absence of value established. Basically, what the client is saying is, I don't value what you're offering me at the price that you're asking, and so I'm going to try to score a deal, right?
Right.
And once that deal happens, I find that it persists, right? And so if you establish a client on the idea of a discount, and there's certainly a time and a place and a strategy to discounting or discounting your price. I'm not saying that we should never do those things, but I'm saying we should never discount the price because we failed to establish value. And so establishing value, sometimes you can back up and say, hey, does this customer really understand what I'm offering in the way of turnaround time and quality, as was noted earlier? Or maybe we're not talking to the right customers, right? And we're more reactive to what customers are coming to us versus being proactive of identifying our ideal customer and being very intentional about crafting an offer that does deliver value and going finding lots of customers like that, optimal customers. So I think on the road to goals around increasing profit and increasing efficiency are identifying the exact right customer target, so you can make sure that you're building the business in a very strategic way. So I love that. So we're broadcasting live, guys. For those of you that are watching this on Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn on the Stalls and Stalls Transfer Express pages, we'd encourage you to join with us and share your top goal for this year. Also shout out who you are and where you're watching from. For those that are listening afterwards on anywhere you listen to podcasts, we thank you for subscribing to this podcast. We'll be publishing new podcasts every week. And you can certainly join us live if you want to participate in the conversation. So we have Brandy watching. So hi, Brandy. Great to see you. We have our friend James watching. Nice to see you. And thanks for your feedback. We have Larry out there in Raleigh, North Carolina watching. Thanks for joining us on YouTube, Larry. And we have Shayna also watching and sharing some feedback on some stuff she's been watching on the Stalls TV YouTube channel. So can you remember back to Printing United and when we recorded these Heat Press for Profit lounge videos that Shayna's referencing here, Jenna?
Yes, they were great. Honestly, probably one of my favorite things we've done as far as just something unique and different to get people more engaged in education on the show floor. We had some really great guests there showing their business experiences and other industry experts. So it was a lot of fun. I'm excited to do that again.
Excellent. And good to see Trevor, as always, from my neck of the woods. I guess no longer your neck of the woods, Jenna, southwestern Pennsylvania here. Jenna's now a Texas gal. And
we got some Texas people joining us.
All right, we'll shout them out here in a second, but I saw this one come up in my feed, so I wanted to pull this up from My Print Shop Customs, watching from Connecticut. Another investment in a 360 IQ hat press, which is just the latest press on the market to decorate headwear. And one of the goals they have now is to learn to get more sales and grow. And so what I would bucket this investment as from a goal category is diversification, right?
Yeah.
And so we've talked about profit. We've talked about efficiency in the opposite order. They tie closely together.
Mm-hmm.
And then diversification, I think, is a great goal category here. My Print Shop Customs has presumably diversified into either headwear or maybe headwear and new decoration techniques like dimensional patches and emblems and new styles of decoration, maybe perhaps to new customers, or maybe just diversifying product assortment to the same customer. So I'd love to understand from the folks watching over at My Print Shop Customs, are you looking to sell more to current customers, or are you looking to go out and find new customers with your capability? If you want to chime in a follow-up, but let's talk a bit about the importance of diversification and setting some goals around that for a business. Do you have any thoughts on that, Jenna?
It goes two ways for me, and you pretty much hit it. It's, product and new customers. And I think that if you have a really good customer base that you relate to very well, and it just flows very naturally for you to work with these customers, then diversifying into new products and showing them different things that they can purchase with you. If they're typically doing t-shirts, show them how they can do fleece or hats or a different accessory. There's a lot of different ways to diversify, and it's extremely important so that you are staying current with them, showing them new things so that they know that they can come back to you for more product. So that's a really big thing if you have a really good customer base. And then if you're still looking to really find your niche and find those customers that you want to target, diversifying out into something that is relatable to you is really key, because if you can relate to it, the more you want to work with those customers, because it becomes easy, it becomes fun, because you like the job that you're doing with them. So for me, if I was doing apparel printing and I wanted to diversify, I would definitely go after like cheer and dance, and then naturally maybe do shirts for moms or sisters, siblings, whatever it may be, supporting them. So just making sure it's relevant whenever you diversify. That way you're not trying to be everything to everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. So diversification on product assortment is great to sell more to current customers and increase your average order value. And then I think not to be forgotten is diversification of customer base and target
Mhm.
market. That may require you to craft a slightly different offer if we're really building value for that customer type and they value something different. For instance, a cheer and dance group would probably value something different than, let's say, a small business like a coffee shop, right?
Mhm.
But I think it's good for an apparel decorator to have a diversified set of customers in their portfolio. That way, if there's, just like good investments, if there's a downturn or something is trending in the wrong direction, perhaps we have another market that's trending up or flat to sustain us, so we don't end up
Right.
too reliant on any given market vertical. So I love that goal. I love the investment. I don't think we have a follow-up comment yet on exactly the 360 IQ investment, but we appreciate them listening in. So, hey, there's a little bit of Texas in the house. Dolly Bella Designs, thanks for watching. And our good friend, Frank Good. What's up, Frank, from Houston,
Right.
Texas? Terrence watching from Nebraska. And I love this one. Lori, listening while working my day job here. Hopefully you don't have us out on speakerphone or anything, Lori, because I'm going to say something. So this is the warning, right? What I find is a lot of goals that we're hearing from customers is working this day job, and this
Mhm.
being the year that they can take that business and grow it to become a full-time entrepreneur and more or less become their own boss. And so that's one of my favorite goals and one of my favorite areas of the business is seeing somebody accomplish that from idea to start to
Mhm.
hustle, usually a side hustle, to eventually I quit and I'm going full time. And then eventually it becomes I'm full time. I'm going to hire somebody now and just grow the business. So we love to see that journey for the folks that are tuning into our content. All right. Here's a good goal. Let me pop this one on. You want to read this one to us, Jenna?
Mhm. Yeah, so Becky from Maryland, the goal is to streamline production and review pricing on longstanding clients. Has a spiritware store with us and has had a huge impact on changing the direction for the new year.
Yeah, so we see a little bit there of a couple goals: streamline production and pricing. So that's pretty consistent with efficiency and
Hmm.
hopefully removing touch from the process and streamlining. That implies that. Long-standing clients, so good base of business and increasing pricing. And then I think there's probably a goal that's been accomplished that you want to double down on, is what that sounds like, is moving the business into e-commerce and kind of these group stores as a way to sell. And so lots going on in Becky's business. So congratulations on the growth there. So we have lots of people chiming in. I thank you for shouting us out. Eric, who we're actually going to have on the show, I believe, next week to share a little bit about his business, is watching from Hudson Valley, New York. So make sure you tune in next week to hear about Eric and his business. We're talking about topics and discussion points now. And we're looking to start our business here in California. You should come out to the Long Beach show if you're in Southern California, and you can learn a lot and see us in person and take some classes. And we're going international here, Turks and Caicos.
I want to go
And
to Turks and Caicos.
yeah, maybe we can go
Nice.
live on site from there once. That sounds like fun. And 360 IQ, 7 to 8 months now, steadily paying for itself. We always hear that type of story. And great. Here's my follow-up comment I was looking for on the 360 investment: looking to gain new customers, also offer current customers headwear with emblems and patches. So certainly diversification and really just new customer growth. So you guys solved it nearly perfectly. I'm going to pull this up here that I had prepped before the show. Here's what we predicted we would hear around customer goals. We predicted we would hear a lot in terms of profit. We hoped we would, at least in efficiency, in diversification. And then the last one that we haven't really hit, although I think it's part and parcel of some of these 360 IQ investments, is relevancy. And I believe, Jenna, this is your favorite one.
This is my favorite one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, whenever I sit in even other industry, like partners or experts, their seminars, they're always talking about how to keep your brand relevant. And brand relevancy is really key to being able to get more clients. And especially if you're keeping your brand relevant, not just by staying up to date on what's trending in the industry or in fashion, whatever it may be, but also staying relevant through your social channels where you're meeting or wherever you're reaching your clients. So relevancy is so big because, your brand is what you say it is. And so if you're actively explaining what your brand is to your customers and they can relate to that, then you're just going to be able to continue to grow that brand and then essentially create a following where people want to see what you're doing day in and day out. And your brand is really more than just the apparel you're printing. It's the marketing that you're putting into it, your mission, whatever it may be, whatever's making you relatable. We see really big brands doing this well because they're telling a story about their business. And when people relate to that story, you then create this little demographic that just wants to support you no matter what you're putting out there, right? So we see this a lot in a lot of like e-retail, whether it's a print on demand shop, maybe it's an Etsy store, maybe it's someone with a group of stores like we mentioned earlier with the spirit sales stores, but you're able to see kind of like their mission statement there, where they want their brand to head, where they came from. I mean, we're seeing so many different stories here of people getting started. Crystal shared that she wants to open a brick and mortar location. She's been building it for 2 years. That's a great example of a story that we would love to hear. How have you been here building it for 2 years? Right? Share that with your clients so that they can get to know you, and that helps build your brand relevancy to an entire client base that would just love to support you. So there's a lot of different ways that brand relevancy can really relate. It can be what your mission is as a business, or it can be however you stay relevant with current clients as well. So
yeah, and I love that. And I like to think about it. It's kind of like who you are, not what you print. Which is closely aligned, to your identity, who you are, which hopefully is driven by purpose. It's some purpose that's bigger than product and profit, for sure. So I think that I love to hear goals around relevancy from a brand perspective. And for some of you, it may mean just staying relevant to your customer from a product perspective as well. So you can take that a couple different ways, and that can be something like Jenna led off with, is just printing stuff that's on trend, that's going to help them accomplish their goals. And so we thought up front we would hear a lot of goals in those. We got a lot of comments, and so I don't want to miss those. We have Kim watching from the UK. Dolly Bell follows up with this, so I want to celebrate this.
Oh, nice.
Went full-time 3 weeks ago, and I'm so excited. So what a great way to start the new year, and what an accomplishment. We have another Juan watching from Houston. And then this is a long one, so let me read through it here. I haven't read it. So Adria has been doing sublimation heat printing for many years, small scale, now ready to grow, but struggling with the website. Don't have a ton of pictures from years past. My goal is to get this business ramped up, and that starts with a website. Here are some tips on or what are some tips on how to show all that I can offer on a website? So really great question and goal. So it's like, how do we go out and find customers if they don't have anywhere to go to like check up on our
Mhm.
brand to make sure we're legit? And the absence of a website or social media platform, I think, is an absence of credibility and being legitimate. So I do think having that basic brand presence is really good. This is something I've been thinking about a lot actually over the past few weeks. And I would start simple. Yes, we want to have an e-commerce site, but if your goal, I think number one goal is go out and win 10 customers. And to do that, think about what product you're offering for what target customers you're reaching, and have like a single page or a 2-page or a 3-page website. You don't need to build the whole master thing yet, that just represents you as a brand and is an extension of your business card that says, here's what I do, here's what I'm about, here's the product, here's the price point, and connect. So obviously that can vary by business, but I wouldn't let having like a full functioning e-commerce site be a stumbling block to go out and accomplishing your goals.
Right. It says that she's pretty small scale at this point. So I would even suggest, since you said that you already have really great quality photos, building out a business platform, whether that be LinkedIn, a Facebook page, Instagram, maybe a Pinterest board, anything that's going to really build this nice portfolio for you that shows your customers exactly what you're able to print, past, you know, projects that you've done or orders that you've completed for customers. Really anything that can just show the quality of the product that you're doing is going to help them, um, you know, have loyalty with you, or just be able to trust that you can provide what they're looking for. I would say, since it's still a little small scale for you, that just having a portfolio and a place for them to order is really all you need at this point. I will say, as far as e-commerce goes, it can be kind of like an overwhelming feeling, but there are really great resources out there like Wix, and other really like plug and play pages that will kind of put a shop together for you. I don't know if you can think of any others, Josh, that are pretty easy to navigate as far as that goes. If you just wanted to pop on like maybe 8 to 12 products or something.
Yeah, I think Trevor recommended Adobe Portfolio, not e-commerce,
Okay.
but just a nice place. I agree with Wix. I've also seen people pop up and not use the e-commerce side of Squarespace.
Mm.
I've also seen folks use different versions of WordPress. It's more than a blogging platform. So there are a ton of different e-commerce platform choices. And what the commenter had said earlier is she went into this with Spirit Sale, which is more of
Mhm.
a client store platform. And so you need to make a decision. Yes, I think you need a website for your brand that basically establishes you as a legitimate company that people can go and see that you are there. But when we talk about e-commerce, you may never need e-commerce just for Josh's tees, right? Because there's strategies out there now where I'll go out and I'll sell to schools and sports teams and businesses, and I'm building client web stores that are more about them. So Albert Gallatin Cheerleading gets a store where I think you said their moms and their families can shop, right? And
Mhm.
so there's a lot of different ways that you can tackle it. I think most important is knowing your customer, knowing their pains and gains, and then really crafting an offer that is inclusive of online shopping in the appropriate way before you go out and just build it.
I want to share something.
Is it this one?
Okay, I'll wait for you. Yeah, no, it's
Was it?
okay.
No. Okay. All right. So I love this one though. But retiring in March, congratulations. Joining my daughter in her business, hoping to grow customer base and profits. And a real focus here, mom and family tees for local sports teams, hoping to expand the
Awesome,
product line.
Michaela. That's great.
Yeah. Very focused, very goal oriented. I love it. Go for it.
TikTok.
Oh, yeah.
Great way to grow your business, get it out there, show off your capabilities. I couldn't agree more. I think that's it's a little like underrated in our industry. It's overrated in a lot of other industries where it's just like so saturated, and I know. But I really think that just the way that short form video in general, whether that's TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. Any short form video to me is king because it is a quick way to grab someone's attention. And we all know our attention spans are very little at this point just because of how much there is to see on social media. So if you can just print a shirt or in a unique way that, adds brand relevancy, of course, just show them what you can do. I think that really engages people because we're in a really creative and cool industry. So content to me comes pretty easily because it engages people like, oh, wow, I didn't know you could do that. That's really cool. And so next thing you know, you have people wanting to send you their art to see if you can print it.
Yeah, I love it. And I would my only caution would be, as long as you start with the customer and there's a ton of audience on TikTok, but make sure it's your audience that you're targeting, right? Because I don't think we should make the assumption that everybody's there, but I love it. If that's your audience, depending on your market that you're looking to go after, I think it's a phenomenal way to reach a nice demographic. Huge.
Yeah,
right?
I would say wherever you are already promoting on social, there's a way at this point to get short form video out there to engage with your customers. So if your demographic is Facebook, pop that on your stories. Stories are highly, highly viewed and gets a lot of engagement because they can immediately just direct message you from there.
All right, Vincent agrees, 100% agree. TikTok's underutilized. Thanks for commenting and watching us from LinkedIn, especially. I was curious to see if we get any comments coming from LinkedIn. So plenty of comments, plenty of questions. Our goal was to keep this to about a half hour each week so we can be protective of your time and you can know what to expect. We're already a little bit over that, and that's okay. But we are going to ask you to come back next week and join us live. And so we'll have at least 4 hosts running this for us throughout the year. Myself, Jenna, Dave Connor, who does a ton of educations on the Transfer Express website, and also Kelly Walters, who does a ton of education for us. We'll be hosting. We'll have Dane Clement joining us sometimes. And almost every time we want to have an apparel decorator as we kick off this new style of content that will be consistent every single week at noon Eastern time, published here on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube Live, and then also anywhere you listen to podcasts. So thanks for joining us on our first one for 2023. We appreciate you all, and we hope we have helped you to think about your business goals and giving you some ideas to achieve them this year. Jenna, thank you.
Thank you. It's been great. I'm excited.
All right.
Happy
Have a
New
great
Year,
week.
everybody.
See ya.